The Impala. So last I left off, I got it all painted black, but I had a couple little runs on the side, and you can see on the side here where I've sanded down the runs. Took Mr. Sanding Stick, which is basically a medium, to a fine, and just knocked down the where it ran on the sides. And all I got to do now is shoot that with another coat of paint, let it dry, then we're ready to do some future, and hopefully I'm going to try to, by the middle of the week or the end of the week, I'm going to try to put the headlights on. So the side mirrors, which go in here. I'm probably going to cheat though on you've seen the light that goes on cop cars on the side. It should go like right in here on the frame. I don't think that's actually going to work on this. Because it's going to be an RC car and it's going to move. So what I'm thinking about doing is where the window is right here, and this is all shiny black plastic. I'm just going to probably drill in through the window here, and that way it'll have a really good surface to bite on and won't fall off. I think if you get it right here on the frame, I think it's going to make it a little wonky, and this thing will be hauling down the road, and anything could happen, so always got to think ahead here. So anyway, I'm getting that all sanded down. So I spent most of the morning getting that done, so it's ready to paint. Hopefully I can get base coat on it again this week. If not, I'll definitely get it by the weekend. Gran Torino, that's going to be a next weekend project, so that gives it a good time for it to dry and primer, and gives me time to look at, make sure I got everywhere, because the bottom I didn't paint. What I usually do is I just go ahead and paint it black and do a little dry brushing. That's all you're going to see, and the top's more important than the actual bottom, so it'll just be painted flat black, a little bit of dry brushing for the exhaust, motor, and all that good stuff. But anyway, there's that, and that could be time to dig out the paint and try to get my assembly line going once I start. The MBT, I didn't do anything today. I was debating whether to put the little I call it a strip of plastic. It's what it looks like to me. I probably will. I'll probably go dig out some Plastruc or Evergreen, whatever I got. That's wider styrene strip, and I'll probably add one on there about like so, just to simulate the top part, and then pretty much ready to go on that. I actually wasted some AV's epoxy sculpt because I should have done a smaller amount when I did the nose, but I didn't, and I need to fill that in, which I need to do today, but I just didn't have time, and I'll explain in a minute why I didn't have time. The Death Star, I got almost all the the tape took off. I've still got to go in wherever I laid down Mr. Toothpick, because it was just easier that way. Where did I do with it? There you are. I went in and I took all the tape, places that I've masked off. This thing was painted basically in enamel, the lighter gray, if you see that. And I take acrylic paint, spray over it, and you can take a toothpick here, and instead of masking, you can scrape it off the panel line, and you can get the where you need to get. It's just easier to scrape it off that way. Add a little water, and you can get the different little tiny panel lines, and you didn't have to sit there and mask it all. But anyway, you can see the the contrast to it, and I didn't turn on the computer, and I'll try to remember to do that to show you what the reference photos looks like, because it is that big of a contrast when you see it. And plus I got a little bit of it's very subtle, but you can see the different shades of just two types of gray in there. And I'll go in there with a little bit of a lighter gray, and I'll brush just a little bit, just to make it just a tad bit different. And I'm going to go in and you could mask these off, but I'm just going to go ahead and paint it with a brush. It's just be easier. Just a different panels of the dish, and it'd just be a whole lot easier to paint that. There's a couple spots on here that I got to go back in, and where the tape just wasn't square, or I didn't cut it right, and I just need to apply a little bit of paint on there and get them squared up. And then there's a couple places where I didn't paint at all. Like, I don't know what I was doing when I masked this off. I forgot an actual panel, but I'll go back in with the J and Gray, paint it, and we'll be good to go on it. One thing I'm going to do is, once I still got to hunt for some more tape to take off, and then go back in and do the toothpick method, get some of the finer panel lines out, and then touch up a few little areas. And then I'm probably going to spray it with crystal clear, just to give it a good shell so it won't scratch anything, because it is acrylic paint, and we should be good to go on it. Anyway, Death Star is taking shape, so a little more on that, and now we're down to the little time consuming. I try to do it a little bit each day, and then before you know it, it'll be done. So looking good so far. The Crazy Horse, basically added the bottom pylon decals, added the ring that goes, there was a ring decal that goes here. Basically I had to cut it in half to get it to fit. I think this decal is supposed to fit also in the little squares, but that was going to be more of a hassle than anything, so I just went ahead and cut it and put it around the side. I think it looks fine, and I'll see what's left, and I may add some here and there just to give it a little more Aztec. I did the pylons on the bottom here, and I started doing the nacelle. On the bottom of the cell I got basically the darker gray, and then one side I'm going to do the mirror side as the other side is, and I'll just do that side. That's my game plan, but I actually kind of only did 3 or 4 decals today, and that was pretty much it. Needed to really sit, and I went back in this morning and basically was just cutting out air bubbles and putting down more solution to get it to sit down. And when I first started, this was a full bottle, and the Crazy Horses took that much. So there is that. I gotta do a little trimming and a few other things. There's a couple decals I'm not going to put on. I don't like the way they look, and one of them is these are the little side that go right through here. Number one, it's I think too narrow, and this will just basically overlap it, and I think it's too much. And I don't know where these blue go, but I probably don't think they'll go on unless they just go on somewhere that I didn't notice. Of course, I didn't look at the decal sheet or the instruction over there to tell me where it goes. But anyway, most of it will go on, but there is just a couple that I'm going to leave off. I think it distracts from the model. But anyway, hopefully it gets some more decals on. Either today, if not, I'll put do my 2 decal rule starting tomorrow morning. But anyway, there's that. So that's what I have got going on today. Hopefully I can have a shed update if it quits raining and warms up just a tad. Of course, we do got the heater in there, but I will try to do a shed update as we speak. And I want to do my the new microphone, and I'm thinking about making a over the head mount that fits over the workbench, which would fit something like that. Is my plan on see if I can try to accomplish it this week. I found a way to do it yourself, so I may try it, see how it works, and I may do more over the head so you can work around and hands free and all that good stuff. But I need it to where I can also pick it up, because I also like to take the camera and I like to get into the models when I do build. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. Trying to sand out the paint on the Impala. Debating whether to put the little thingies on top for the MBT1. Removing the mask from the Death Star, and of course we are still applying decals to the Crazy Horse. So that's what I got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.